Well, joining me now on the line, a witness who was at the police station when those dramatic events unfolded a short while ago and who would like to remain anonymous. Thank you for joining us here on France 24. So you were at the police station earlier getting some documents or something for yourself. Yeah. Tell us, what did you see when you were there?
So I was at the police station and I was in a waiting room, waiting for my turn for some documents. And we heard, me and the people who were in the room with me, we heard a faint gunshot. We didn't think it was anything at first, but shortly after, one of the people who worked in that room came to us and told us asked us not to panic and to stay in the room because we didn't have the right to get out because there had been a murder. And shortly after, they came to us with more news telling us that it was actually one of their colleagues from the police station who had stabbed three of their colleagues. And a few minutes later, they told us that he had stabbed four colleagues, and had wounded 5, and that he was shot by a police officer shortly after he did that.
So 4 officers killed and another 5 injured in that knife attack. Yeah. Now, do you know if this was someone who was already inside the building at the time?
Yes, he was at the building. And he did this to people who worked with him, apparently on the same floor. That's what they told us. I don't know if it's exactly what happened, but it's the persons who were in charge of the room I was in who told us that.
Did you see the victims?
I did not see the victim. No.
Do you know if this was another police officer who was working at the time? Did they give you that information?
They did not give me that information. All they said is that it was a colleague of theirs.
It was a colleague. And then I understand that you were then removed from the police station to a place of safety.
Yes, we were asked to stay in that room. We stayed there for around 40 minutes, and then they were evacuating the police department.
Now, when you went into the police station, I would imagine that when you went into the police station, I would imagine you had to go through several levels of security to get through.
Yes, they check everything that you have. They check your bag. They check your coat. They check everything. So they do a big security check before you enter the police department.
And what was the atmosphere in the aftermath of that? Was it controlled or did it seem chaotic to you? How do you think it was handled?
It was pretty controlled. It was only like the people who worked there who were panicking a little bit, but the police were in control of the situation, and they were very calm, and they walked us outside and asked us to walk straight and not go around the police department. And that's it.
Did you not at all? And I'm very sorry to hear that you were caught up in all of this. It must be very unsettling for you as a member of the public who was, caught up in a place which you would expect to be the safest place in the city, pretty much the headquarters, not just any old police station, but the headquarters of the Paris police. I'm just wondering if, when you were sitting in that room, if you heard any kind of shouting, any quarrelling, anything like that in the lead up to those events.
I thought it was nothing because it was very faint, and I heard a woman yelling, and then came the very faint gunshot. But me and everyone who was in the room, we didn't think of it as anything. And it was after a couple of minutes that the person who worked there came to us and informed us of what had happened. And but I didn't hear anything else afterwards, and I just went out. I just left the building straight outside.
You were taken outside and taken out of the sealed-off area, and I would imagine taken far from the scene. And were you with many other people in that room where you were waiting for your documents?
With 10 to 15 people, I'll say.
10 to 15 people, while that attack was going on in another room adjacent to where you were sitting.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, I'm very sorry to hear that you were caught up in all of that, and thank you very much for sharing your account of what happened with us today.